Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to another press conference of the National Electoral Commission. I would like to welcome Deputy Chairman of the National Electoral Commission, Judge Stanisław Kosman, and Judge Maria Grzelka, member of the National Electoral Commission. We are starting our press conference. The floor is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another press conference at the seat of the National Electoral Commission. First, I'm going to read out an announcement on the turnout, announcement of the National Electoral Commission dated 16th of November 2014 about the number of persons, those registered and those who have been distributed ballots until 12 to the councils of communes and also to the elections of mayors, presidents of the cities on the 16th of November 2014. The National Electoral Commission, based on the data received from 24,870 district electoral commissions in the amount out of the total amount of 25,953 district commissions, informs that as of the 12th noon at today, the following number of ballots have been distributed among the voters: 4,220,017, which constitutes 14.59% vis-à-vis the general number of voters eligible to take part in today's voting. As regards the turnout in individual voivodeships, out of the data that we have received, it turns out that the largest turnout was noted in the Małopolskie voivodeship, where it reached, as of 12 o'clock, 18.55%. The next voivodeship is the Podkarpackie voivodeship, with a turnout of 17.96%, and Podlaskie voivodeship with 17.56% of the turnout. The lowest turnout was noted in the Dolnośląskie voivodeship, where it amounted to 11.55%. Now, as regards individual largest cities in Poland, the turnout was as follows. The largest turnout was noted in the city of Rzeszów. It amounted to 14.63%. Then Olsztyn with 13.65%, and in Białystok at the level of 13%. The lowest turnout was noted in Gdańsk as of 12 o'clock, 8.06%. If we compare that to local elections, which took part in 2010, we have got the turnout at 10 o'clock back in those elections, and this year we have turnout at 12 o'clock. It was 5.2% back in those elections in 2010. So now this turnout is much bigger at 12 o'clock because it exceeds 14%. This is the data about the turnout. To compare, we can say that in the elections to the European Parliament, also at 12 o'clock, the turnout was 5.29%, which means that it was much lower than in the current local elections. Now, very briefly about the course of the local elections this year. First of all, I will mention some negative cases. Generally speaking, the course of the elections is quite calm, but of course incidents happen always, and such incidents are happening also during the course of these elections. Some more interesting pieces of information provided to us from the police command center. We conclude that until now, 4 cases have been noted of taking ballots and taking them out of the polling station in the Małopolskie Voivodeship, in the Śląskie Voivodeship, and in the Warmińsko-Mazurskie Voivodeship. Of course, these were just incidental, isolated cases. Just 4 of them have been reported. In Rzeszów, on one of the internet websites with announcements, there is a post concerning the sale of ballots, 5 zlotys for each ballot paper. We cannot verify whether it is true or not, but anyway, there is such a post on this website. Summing up all those incidents, one has to say that as many as 2,007 incidents have been reported. Among others, these are incidents, let me stress the point. They are connected with ripping off the posters, banners, placing banners in not permitted venues, broadcasting advertisement spots in the local media, electoral agitation. Some slogans were painted on the gates or fences. Of course, individual commissions reported that to the police, and the police, of course, removed those inscriptions from the fences and other places. Another incident, or rather accident, happened in Zabrze, where ambulance had to be called because one of the voters fainted and later died in the polling station. The doctor called stated that it was a natural death. Nevertheless, voting had to be stopped or suspended, and the regional commission was moved to the adjacent room. And after that short pause, the voting takes place in the replacement room, whereas the previous room had to be made available for the doctor and the bodies which were investigating the cause of the death. Now, the branch office of our commission in Włocławek received information from the municipal commission that in front of the polling station number 8 in Włocławek, ballots were bought, or votes were sold. Of course, police was informed about that. Police detained 2 persons who had business cards with names and surnames of candidates running for the position of councillors. And these are the most interesting pieces of news that we have received so far from our field officers and from the police. Any questions? Please introduce yourself. Madam Telmińska first. Małgorzata Telmińska, TVN24. My question is, we can't hear you, I'm sorry. Do you have any information that the voting, due to some incidents, is supposed to be prolonged? For example, in Zabrze, there was a pause. Perhaps somebody reported that he was not able to cast his ballot in that time. Is there any place where there is a possibility of prolonging of the voting? Yes, there were some pauses, very brief pauses, as this one. It did not last very long. Adjacent room was made available, and the voting goes on there. Then a resolution was made about a pause in the voting, but the members of the commission said that they are not going to prolong the hours of the voting because the voters could wait and vote or come a little bit later. That polling station will be open until 9 p.m. So there is no need to prolong the voting. I have got a piece of information that in one town in Zachodniopomorskie region, it turned out during the voting that the printing house printed ballots in the wrong way. There was a mistake in the surnames of one of the candidates. Can it cause an electoral protest? Because I think that the voting had to be suspended there as well. Yes, the voting was suspended there. Then correct ballots were delivered. There was a brief pause as well. Then a resolution was passed to the effect that this voting will not be prolonged. We do not have any information about any commission, any polling station prolonging the voting. Please could you introduce yourself as well? Good morning, Polish Press Agency, Wojciech Tumitalski. My question is whether the number of 27 incidents covers also the electoral silence, or does it cover only today's day? Well, these are all the incidents that happened since the declaration of the electoral silence, because before you quote 137 incidents, yes, so now we added more of them. We had information from Będzin that a drunk person entered the room of the Electoral Commission and took away all the paper ballots from that place. Can you comment on that? We had information about a drunk person, a drunk voter, but we don't have any information about that person taking out ballot papers. Please go ahead. Paweł Malinowski, Radio RMF. Two persons in Włocławek who were detained due to buying and selling votes. Were they buying the votes, selling the votes, or one was buying them, the other was selling? Do we have such information? The only information we have is that two persons have been detained. The electoral bodies do not conduct investigations into incidents. This is the responsibility of the enforcement bodies. They are dealing with it, and we have to wait and see what the results will be when the investigation is concluded. Joanna Donikowska, TVP Info. I would like to ask whether Głogów Małopolski, whether that has been explained, and 480 ballot papers missing. Do we know what has happened there? My colleague will inform me about that. She's got some information. About this one, of course, media reported on it already. According to the latest information received by the Electoral Commissioner in Rzeszów, this case is investigated in a routine way. Enforcement bodies are investigating the case. However, it is difficult to speculate what a possible negative effect can be of 480 ballots not reaching the Commission. Probably they were functioning somewhere. We cannot exclude the situation where they were functioning somewhere outside of the official circulation. The presidents of district electoral commissions in Głogów Małopolskie decided that they will personally stamp all paper ballots available, and they will also put numbers on each separate page personally, so that there are no doubts whatsoever about the ballot papers. This is the information we have as of today. And we also have received a recommendation from the Electoral Commissioner in Rzeszów for all members of the district electoral commissions to pay particular attention whether voters do not cast more than one paper ballot. This is what we know as of today. Okay, thank you. Magdalena Zender, Polsat News. If you could elaborate a little bit when we can find out partial figures and when will the final results be quoted? And now the question about the IT system. Is everything working okay? Are there no problems with the IT system? So far, we have no information whatsoever of any disruptions for the IT experts in obtaining the data. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have got very efficient information about the turnout, so we haven't experienced any problems. And partial figures, probably the first partial figures will be quoted at 2:15 a.m. after the polling stations close. And what about the final results? When can we expect them? We do not really know that. We need to obtain information from all the electoral commissions first. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we are at your disposal. The next conference will take place at 7 p.m.